Welcome to Agents Growth Academy. My name is Jim Schubert, and I am your headmaster. I hope you're ready to grow big or go home. I have a wonderful guest today, Zac Franz, who's going to talk to you about speeding up your receivables with ePayPolicy. This is absolutely something that fits into the agency operations side. Everybody knows this show is about what? Branding, marketing, and agency operations. And this is a big one. This is a huge pain point that we want to help agents solve today on this episode. So let me tell you a little bit about Zac. He's worked with ePayPolicy for over 2 years. They literally just redid their logo. So what you see on his shirt is not up to date, but that's okay. They literally just did it. He started on their sales team and then began managing that team. And now he's managing the relationships with their integrated technology partners. I think his official title is Manager of Strategic Partnerships. And again, talking about speeding up receivables with ePayPolicy. Welcome to Agents Growth Academy, Zac Franz. How you doing, man?
Jim, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I'm doing great. It's really nice to get to talk to you again. I know it's been about a month or two since you and I met, but that was
feels like
such a fun
yesterday.
time. What's up?
I said it feels like yesterday, man. Yeah, we met at
Feels like
the
yesterday. Well, it's just an
it,
immediate connection. Yeah.
yeah, we met at Cass's branch here
Yeah.
in Kansas City. And like every time I say that, I want to say St. Louis, but it's Kansas City. It's on the other side.
Oh, don't say St. Louis. Yeah, they'll go after
No, I know, I
you.
know.
There's Kansas City, Kansas too. You got to watch out for.
Yeah, and you didn't have to travel as far as I did, I don't think, because you're in Austin, right?
Yeah, it was maybe like a 2-hour flight. It was not
Yeah.
bad at all. Yeah, I think
Is
anything under three is fine for me.
Yeah, no, that's good. Is the motto of Austin still keep Austin weird?
It's keep Austin weird, but I'm telling you what it could be. They need to change it to tacos and traffic because that's kind of what we're more aptly known for now. There's plenty of weirdness out there still, but tacos and traffic might be a better name for us right now.
That's fantastic, man. I love it.
We did just get into one of my favorite times of the year though, when school lets out because I
Yeah,
guess especially now everybody's staying home with their kids who are out of school. So like
yeah.
for the next 2 months, traffic is at about 60% of what it normally is,
Dude, tell me
which is
about
a
it. I
blessing.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, in Atlanta, we have some really bad traffic too, and that is the hallelujah point to
Yeah.
everyone's year is when school lets out and everybody's like, "Whoa, it took me 5 minutes to get to work today. What happened?"
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
insane because the first day that happens, you get to work way too early, and you're like, "Oh, hold on, I gotta calibrate for this next time."
seriously. Yeah, yeah. Get a little bit of extra sleep in there.
hmm
Speeding up receivables with ePay policy. Pretty self-explanatory, but
Yep.
tell me how this became a passion for you. What were you doing before this, and why did you choose to get hooked up with ePay?
Oh man, that's a good question.
I hit you right
Um,
between the eyes.
you did, yeah, that was a good shot.
Well,
But
what
I've
were you
got a
doing
pretty
before
good
this?
answer. So I was working at a company called Compete that did restaurant management software.
Yeah,
Um, they're actually owned by the same private equity company that owns ePayPolicy. So
convenient.
yeah, and I was working with them for almost a year, and it was March 2020, and it was right when COVID hit. And I think,
Oh
as you can
yeah.
imagine, nobody's really trying to buy restaurant software after they shut all the
Ooh,
restaurants down.
ooh, yeah,
Yeah, so they furloughed all of us, the sales and marketing folks. We didn't know how long it was going to be. It was supposed to be 2 weeks, then
yeah,
2 months, and then I mean, are we out of it? I don't know. But anyway, about a month after I was let go, and I was like, all right, well, I probably ought to start trying to find a new job.
sure.
Our recruiter from my first company actually came over to ePay Policy because ePay Policy started growing like crazy in March
Yeah,
2020 when
yeah,
online payments, digital payments kind of became a necessity for the space.
yeah.
So she reached out to me and was like, "Hey, you got to come out here. You need to check out this company. It's great. The culture is kind of exactly what we left behind. It's
Mm.
like a smaller, newer. I don't know. It was really she painted a beautiful word picture for me. I got in here and I talked to like the three people that were in the office at the time, and it was great. Like
Through
even
your
from that
mask.
small sample size, yeah. Then we went to lunch and we hung out. And the dude that became my manager was kind of just like, yeah, so I should have your letter ready by lunch if you want to meet us for lunch. I was just like, oh,
Nice.
that was super fast.
Wow.
Um, and I originally thought this was just going to be a temporary gig for me. I
Mm.
was like, okay, be here 6 months. When this whole pandemic thing's over, you can go back and do the restaurant thing again. And then the co-founders of this business of ePayPolicy, Todd Sorrell and Milan Malkani,
Yeah.
they made this such an awesome place to work. And like the opportunities for me to grow in my career and to help agencies and agents grow in their careers, like the opportunities are endless. So like I've been promoted 3 times since I've been here, and I have no intention on leaving.
That's
So
awesome.
it was kind of crazy how I got here. And that's why it was like a hard thing to answer, like, where did your passion for this industry come from? And I wouldn't say that my passion's helping people. I'm a
Yeah.
service-minded person. I come from the
Yeah.
service industry. But the passion for this space and this business really developed when I started going to these trade shows and meeting some of the folks that we were helping, those
Yeah.
people whose receivables were speeding up and allowing to bind coverage faster.
Yeah.
Um, the gratitude, like they use the L word about us, Jim. I don't know.
The O
There's
word.
not a lot of software companies where people say love and
Ah,
they say, we love ePayPolicy. We love you guys. It's
yeah.
so interesting, especially with like being a payment company.
Yep.
The reason people are with their payment provider is because it sucks a little bit less than the payment provider they had before. And they'll go to the next one when it sucks a little bit less than the one they have now.
Yeah.
But the thing about ePay is we do such a good job and our clients really love us. We've got 98% retention rating. So when folks sign up with us, they just stick with us because we're doing it the best.
Yeah, we're living proof of that. By the way, I think we started using you guys maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I can't remember. It was actually Todd that reached out to me and
Yeah.
asked, if we'd be interested, and looked at it. And holy cow, I'll tell our story in a minute. But what I'm curious is, what struggles do your clients have before using ePayPolicy? And I'll whether and maybe you can give us a couple of different examples. Like you mentioned, people who had a different um, payment
Hmm.
solutions provider. We didn't have one, so there are agents that don't currently have that. So maybe walk us through, like, what are some of the struggles that agents have before they start using you guys?
Yeah. So before they start using just any provider,
Yeah.
I think because what we facilitate are agency bill payments. So the payments that don't go directly through the carrier, it's just for
Right.
stuff that hits your trust account before being forwarded on.
Yep.
Um, so the problem that agents were having is that they're getting a ton of checks. And I don't know if you like handling checks, Jim, but checks are
No. And my
costly, time
accounting manager does not
consuming.
like handling them either.
Yeah. So it's just really inefficient, and that's kind of where Todd and Millen felt, because Todd owned a premium finance company, and he
Mm.
originally built this product for himself.
Oh,
He's like, man,
yeah, you
checks,
told me
this is
that.
costing me too much. This is inefficient. There's got to be a better way to do this.
Yeah.
And then when they built this for themselves, and then they realized the scope and the scale and the application of it, they're like, oh my God, this is going to change digital payments for the insurance industry, and it did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but sorry, back to your question. It's a lot of check stuff. All those checks are costing you maybe, I think it's between $7 and $8, according to the most recent data. It's a Bank of America study done.
Yeah.
It's just time, labor, and materials, time spent in the mail. And I think another thing that you struggle with too is peace of mind, and you have a hard time trusting too. This is a people business, it's a relationship business, and we want to trust as much as we can.
Yeah.
But how many times did you ever hear, "Oh, I swear the check's in the mail. I swear it's on the way. Check's in the mail."
Oh, yeah. I mean, a million.
And
Yeah.
it puts you in a rough spot because you're like,
Sure.
you want to bank on that relationship and you don't want to, mess that up. But at the same time, you're like, man, how am I supposed to, in good faith, bind this coverage for you when I don't have any money and I don't know that it's in there? It was late last time. It's crazy. So with ePayPolicy, as soon as anybody makes any type of payment, all parties get an emailed receipt. So that is the version of the check is in the mail. You know that that payment at least has been attempted to be made. So it takes
Yeah.
that whole checks in the mail thing out of the game, gives you peace of mind, and just going to put a lot more time back in your pocket. I think
Yeah.
there's different levels of people that we help, right? There's somebody that's taken 15 checks a month that, yeah, we help them. It's great. Is it extremely life changing? Maybe not. And then there's some folks that are taking 50 to 100 payments where we can integrate with their management system. And that's like where you see the accounting person back there is like, oh my God, you've literally changed my life. I don't have to stuff all these checks or do this. I can send my payables with you guys. Um, and that's what was really cool. And that's what helped me develop the passion too, is seeing those type of people that we did kind of change lives for come up and let us know that at these shows.
So I'm making a couple of notes here. I want to ask you about,
Yeah.
you mentioned agency management system integration. Tell us what that looks like.
So most of our two-way integrations work pretty similarly. What we do is we connect with the agency management system to a couple different endpoints. Um, so we'll ask for, we need two endpoints to search in the management system. So we'll ask for like an account number and a zip code, or an invoice number, a producer number, whatever the endpoint may be, whatever is going to
Yeah.
work for that management system.
Okay.
So our system looks for those, and we can actually pull all the outstanding invoices underneath those two endpoints. Like under that account number, we could pull all those outstanding invoices, display them on our payment page, and allow the insured to just click which ones they want to make a payment on, then use our page the same way.
Whoa.
And so on the back end, since we're integrated with this management system, we can take all of those payment details and push them back into your management system so that we
Yeah.
create the collection of information about the payment, usually in the form of like an open cash receipt or something like that.
Yeah.
Something you want your accounting person to put some human eyes on. They can
Sure.
just click to approve and post it on the account.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
and there's a
awesome.
few nuances depending on which management system you're using. Jim, I don't know if I've ever asked you which one you're using.
Yeah, we're on Applied Epic, and I don't
Oh,
know if
nice.
you guys have integration there or.
Yeah, so we integrate with the SDK of Epic, if you guys
Yep.
have that, and
Okay.
we also integrate with CSR24.
Yeah, and okay, so we have CSR24, and that's something that we're starting to use more, which is probably why I'm
Hmm.
sitting here saying wow, wow, because I haven't really we haven't really dug into
I'm
it.
gonna have an
As
account manager call you after this one, Jim.
heck yeah, man, absolutely. We well, wow, wow, we want to wow our clients, so
Yeah,
that sounds like a great way to do it. Um,
it's a
yeah,
free integration too with ePay. Like whatever page you have right now, if you want to do CSR24, it's totally free to integrate.
that's awesome. Okay,
Yeah,
that's stupid easy, and that's what I like.
it makes almost too much sense, right?
Yeah. You're talking about mail, like checks in the mail. I tell you what, one thing that I've noticed, well, even before COVID, we were starting to have issues with our mail carrier, and I know other people must be having that because of the restrictions that
Hmm.
the U.S. Postal Service has been, faced with worker shortages and things like that, and
Yeah.
stamp costs not covering everything and being way underfunded.
Yep.
Um, but then COVID hit, and now it's even worse. And like we literally changed as much as we possibly could get away from paper checks
Hmm.
during COVID. We got away from it, and we're just about there. We're never going to be 100% there, but we're probably as good as we're going to get right now. But I can't tell
We've
you, man.
we got something to
Uh,
help you with those remaining checks too. I'll I'll
Okay,
get
yeah,
I'll tell
yeah,
you
and I
about that
want
later.
I
All
know
right,
what you're
I'm
talking
sorry I
about.
interrupted you.
No, 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 you're good. I want to hear about that in a second too. But it just like it's been a huge game changer. One of the things that you guys have done for us is just like we were sick of being a bank. The
Hmm.
money was flowing through us, and we had to touch it and deposit it. We had to wait for it first, and then deposit it, then send it. Like this just makes it so much easier.
Hmm.
You know, yeah. Tell me about the other solution. I think I know what you're going to talk about, but I want everybody else to hear it.
I think we probably talked about it a little bit at
Yeah.
Cass's thing too.
Yeah.
Um, so we are coming out this summer with a lockbox solution. So are
Hmm.
you familiar with lockbox solutions, Jim?
Yes. Yeah, but for our
Okay.
audience, let them
For
know.
those at home, yeah.
Yeah.
So a lockbox solution is a service that's going to, instead of your insured sending those remaining checks, those people are just so gung ho on the checks, they won't give them
Yeah.
up. Um, Instead of sending their checks to you guys, they
Hmm.
would send them to ePayPolicy, and then ePayPolicy will scan them, create a digital record of the payment. We'll put
Yeah.
the money in your account just like normal. And then we can also, since if we're integrated with your management system, we can drop you a little file to reconcile that payment right back into the management system.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
instead of, I think it's like $1.50 a check or something like that. It's super cheap. So it's way better than dealing with the $7 or $8 a check when somebody sends it to you, and you have to use your staff's time to go handle that. So we kind of realized we were never going to completely kill checks. It's what we got
Right.
into the game to do, and we've been doing a pretty bang up job for the last 8 years of it.
Yeah.
But we got to be flexible too. And if some people are like, we're just not going to give them up, all right, we'll make a solution for that too.
Yeah. I mean, it's another way of outsourcing like the last little bit of everything that you possibly could outsource, which
Hmm.
I know that's a big topic. We're probably gonna have to do a whole podcast on outsourcing here soon.
Up in Rhode
'Cause
Island.
Yeah, up in Rhode Island, absolutely.
Yeah.
God, that was one thing at BrainShare, man. We must have talked about outsourcing like half the time with all the agents there. It's
Yeah.
pretty big deal. Crazy. What? How are agents and agencies transformed? And what I mean by that is, like, we know what the product does, right? It allows them
Mhm.
to collect receivables very quickly, instead of waiting for days or weeks for that check to arrive in the mail. The On the other end of things, the client can then go on and use either credit card or ACH and get it done right there, right? But how does that
Yep.
actually transform agents? What do they get back, or what do they get from that expediency that comes along with what ePay offers?
So I got probably two main benefits for you.
Great.
One, we're in the business of making everything simple for you. We want to make
Yeah.
that process of the payments just as simple as possible, the reconciliation as simple as possible. We want to give you guys more time back to go do what you do, which is build
Mm-hmm.
relationships, write more business. So, first example I'll use is if somebody maybe they recognize the relevance of digital payments, but they don't have a
Mm-hmm.
third-party provider like ePayPolicy. Maybe they've got like a Square or a swipe machine in the house, or even merchant
Yeah.
services to the bank, something like that. Really anything that wasn't built specifically for insurance.
Yeah.
Um, and these folks are having to manually account for the transaction fee, like if you want to offer that credit card option.
Mm.
And there's two ways to do that. You can either eat it, which is going to be like 3.5% out of your commission as an agent,
Yeah.
or you can pass it on, which is not in compliance to pass those on
Mm.
as the
Yeah.
as the agent. So what ePayPolicy does is, as a third party handling those funds, we're allowed to attach that fee on there since we're not selling anybody insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So what we can do is we can give you that ability to offer those online payment options, make it super simple, really easy for your payers, but then also keep your commission 100% intact. So you're not having to give up 3 points here, 8 or 10 points or whatever it is.
Yeah. And that is beautiful, by the way.
Yep.
Thank you.
Hey, we do what we can. And then the other side of the coin, which arguably could be more valuable, it just depends on how many checks your organization takes, how it's structured. So
Yeah.
I would say I'm going to use an example, like if we're integrated with somebody, I'm going to use AMS 360 as an example.
Sure.
So before, like if you're doing a payment with without ePayPolicy being integrated into AMS 360, um, that's it's a lengthy process. And so once you get the integration in there, it's really cool because without ePay, you have your accounts receivable team has to go into your management system, find the insured, create a PDF for each invoice, send those out manually one by one,
Yeah.
wait for the insured to acknowledge it, send the payment back. Then your accounts receivable team gets the check, manually creates, I believe in AMS 360, it's activity and suspense, then posts it against the account. And then they still have to go drop the funds or drop the check off at the bank and wait for those funds to clear.
Yeah.
So when you introduce ePayPolicy and you integrate with your management system, you can electronically send out that invoice. It's got a payment link on there. The insured clicks the Pay Now link. The agency gets an e-receipt. Then they can look over an automatically created cash receipt and approve it to bind coverage. And then funds are just deposited right into their bank account.
And that happens seamlessly. Like if you send me a
Yeah.
link, if I'm a client, I don't even have to be in my office, right? Because I know I've
Oh yeah, you pull
looked
it
at
up on your phone.
ePay. Yeah. Yeah. Get on your phone, go ahead and, use your credit card, pull it out, use that, or link it up with your
Yep.
bank, and then boom, it's done. I get the
Yeah.
emails for what's cool too. This is something I'm not sure thinking through here, but uh, agency owners who want to have a little bit more insight into what's going on,
Hmm.
or be aware of when certain things are happening. For instance, for me, I get an email every time a payment is declined. So if somebody uses a wrong credit card number, actually that'll happen right away. It's
Yep.
usually the ACH, right? Because that has to be verified, and I'll get a payment decline email, and it automatically copies. Well, it copies me, but it goes to our accounting
Hmm.
manager, and
Yeah.
she's aware of it. Like we're both aware of it in real time, and then she turns around, lets the producer know, like, you got to go let them know that they need to use a different form of payment, right? So
Yeah,
that's been super, super cool just to have that oversight.
right. And you can get as much of that or as little of that as you want to, because it's
Yes.
so customizable on that user screen. You add whoever you want as a user. You as like you're the jefe on the account. You're the
Yeah.
admin. You can control everybody's permissions, so you can see
Yeah.
what they have access to, what they get notified for. And something I thought was just a really cool small touch is every user that you add gets to create their own login credentials.
Mm,
So it's not like you have to share your login with your team or something like that,
yeah.
and it's for your email. It's really cool. Everybody can create their own credentials.
Yeah. And they can send those
And then
links out. That's what's really cool to me is that it's just
yeah,
as easy as sending a link. I mean, there's other software suites that we're starting to use now to gain efficiencies in our agency, and it literally is as simple as sending a link and saying, "Hey,
yeah,
all you have to do is click here and do this." It makes the process really fast and easy.
yeah.
It's awesome.
Do you guys have the link on your invoices or on your invoice template?
Um, that's a great question. I don't know.
Okay,
I
because I
I
know with Epic we can put our payment page link just right on the invoice template, so that whenever you send
yeah.
out an agency bill invoice, it just says, "Hey, to pay online, click here," and then they can just click right there. It's just automatically on there each time.
I think we've elected not to do that because correct me if I'm wrong, but can isn't it set up where if we want to send a pre-filled uh, page, like where it's
Hmm.
got the client name, the amount that they have to pay, and that right that goes to them, and that shows up when they click the link or whatever they click on. It shows up with that information already pre-filled. Is that correct? Or
So
am I?
that one, you're gonna have to shoot that. You're gonna build that link out each time in our dashboard. So you would have to
Yes.
type that stuff in there, but then yeah, it'll give you that new link, and you would send those kind of one by
Yeah.
one.
Well, I know it sounds like extra steps, but we had enough clients who either didn't put like enough identifiable information and we'd have to go track
Hmm.
down where did we get this payment from or they'd pay the
Yeah,
wrong amount. And so we were just like, you know what? Let's just make it easy. I mean, it takes 2 seconds to put their, the client's name and their premium amount that they have to pay on there. Let's
yeah,
just do that. And that's been a whole lot. Like we've had fewer issues with them actually making the wrong payments or us having to track it down. But you're right.
yep.
Either way, I mean, if uh, you know,
We get this
our
integration
clients are
going, Jim.
intelligent. I promise they are. We're just
Yeah,
trying to make it as stupid easy for them.
yeah. I mean, well, you want to make everything as easy as possible, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and we've got that too. Like with CSR 24, we get you integrated to where your payers could log in, and then once they're logged in, they can click on billing, and it'll just display all their open invoices. They can choose which one they want to make the payment on, so nobody's getting confused about the amounts. There's even some of our integrations where you can send them links that says, "Hey, pay now," and then when they
yeah.
click it, it pre-fills everything to the page for them already.
Okay, yeah,
That's like part of our invoice notifications feature. That's pretty cool. Available on a
that's
few
awesome.
integrations. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to know if y'all have any data around how many like average man hours are saved in an agency when people did not have a payment solution and then they use the ePay policy. Have you guys got any data around that?
It definitely depends on how many checks you're
Yeah,
collecting right now. So, I mean, if
sure.
you're collecting 2 checks a month, yeah, if we're going to help you provide a credit card option, that's cool. For that
Yeah,
one person that's like really wants to use their credit card, it's
yeah,
nice, get them off your back.
yeah,
But for that agency that's taking like 50 checks a month, it is huge. And that was part of what I wanted to say about kind of when I was touching on the integration, the benefits there.
yeah,
When we looked at that example of kind of the process before integrating and the process after integrating,
yeah.
that integration saves about on average 20 minutes per policy. And so if you want to talk about
Wow.
the value, that's about what else could your team be doing with that time?
Yeah.
Because we don't want to replace anybody's jobs. We're just like let's make it their job super easy so they can go do other things in the agency.
You get
It's like what
100
else could you do
policies,
at that
that's
time?
2,000
How
minutes.
valuable is that time? Yeah, and how
Yeah.
valuable is that time to you? If that's your accountant's time, or even if that's your time, Jim, like that's invaluable.
Yeah. That's massive.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
the scale depends on how many checks you're taking. But
Yeah.
when I do the math, I think to get the bang for your buck out of ePayPolicy, I think you need to take 3 payments in-house per month. That could be ACH, checks, or a credit card provider that you're using now.
Yeah.
But we look at what a paper check costs you. It's about $7 or $8. What ePay costs you is $25 a month. So we look at 3 of those checks, we're getting $25 a month. And with ePay, you're not having to deal with all that stuff. So you have the added benefit of all the time you save too. But
Three a month
that's like my
is
money equation. Yeah. For
and
what
three
makes
a
it worth
month
it.
is nothing, man. That is like for most agencies, I would think that that's like so easy to achieve. But
Yeah, I
we,
think most agencies get more than three payments in-house per month.
oh yeah, we get a ton. One thing we've also started to talk to our clients about who were resistant to this at first was,
Hmm.
listen, let me tell you something, real time. Okay, we have had tons of problems with checks arriving, and that means that they're somewhere. And if you're sending your check through the mail, you're sending a would-be criminal the information they need, most of it, to forge your check,
Yep.
right? We've had clients where that happened to them. The check was on the way to us, never made it, and then come to find out, they, contacted us later and said, I had to create a new bank account, like, somebody forged my check. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
here's the solution. Stop sending checks in the mail.
Don't send them.
Like
Yeah.
it,
Don't put your routing and account number on a piece of paper and put it in the mail and then just be like, all right, there you
right?
go.
Yeah, I mean, literally the only thing that's separating it is a thin piece of paper that's covering the check. Like,
Arguably see through if you hold it up to the sun too.
right, right. You
So
wouldn't
like
even
you
have
can
to
look at
take
that
it out
without
of
even
the
have to open
envelope.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's insane. So, yeah, from a security standpoint, this is huge, and
Yeah.
it's honestly something I think that people who aren't doing this, if they haven't thought through all these reasons, like if nothing else, do it for your clients. Do it because you
Yes.
care about them and you don't want them to have, check fraud thrust upon them. So, yeah,
Couldn't have said it better myself.
that's why they pay me the $0 to be the podcast host, my friend. Hey, I want to get into the rapid fire round, and then I'll get your thoughts
Let's
on
do it.
some kind of parting shots here at the end. But I'm
All
curious to
right.
know,
Party shots?
yeah, parting, like
Oh, I thought we were doing party
last
shots. Okay.
thoughts. Oh
Okay,
no,
yeah,
we're not going to do
different, yeah,
shots.
different.
Not
I was like,
today.
let me change gears here. Okay.
The follow up podcast, I know you're a bourbon guy. We'll have some
I
whiskey
am.
shots. Don't worry about
Okay.
that. I
Awesome.
thought about you the other day when I was going into my favorite local liquor store. I actually
What'd you pick
asked
up?
them. Well, I got some what was it? Connemara, which is, I
Okay.
think it was the one that I was talking to Brad about, where it's like the really peaty one from Ireland.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I actually asked them, can I send stuff to Texas? They were like, not legally, but we can tell you how to do it illegally. I was like,
Oh.
okay.
Are you supposed to tell me that?
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna listen, but I won't do anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Brad wanted me to tell you too. He's thinking about you and your family. Just wants you to let you know he's thinking about y'all and wishes you guys all the best.
Oh man, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'll have to shoot him a message too. You guys, by the way, for those of you who don't know, Zach and Brad are really good people. Just really good people. Had a chance to have dinner with them in Kansas City, and just we had a blast. It was awesome.
It was a good time. Thank you so much for joining us, Jim.
Oh, thanks for the invite, man. But hey, one piece of technology or software you can't live without.
I've got to give it to Spotify on the software. I'm a big music buff, and I
Heck yeah.
download way more than 10 songs a month or whatever I'm paying. So I don't know if there's anybody out there that's still buying songs for $1.29 off iTunes. You got to get with Spotify. You got to get to Apple Music. It's probably the same people who are still sending checks, but
Yeah.
but yeah,
You
that's
should
probably
do
what
a
I couldn't live
poll.
without, right?
You should take a
That
poll, man.
correlation would be it.
I
Yeah,
love it. That's phenomenal. I know you and I have the same passion for playing guitar, so I bet you
yeah,
download a ton of music, man. That's awesome.
yeah. And honorable
Awesome.
mention that Ultimate Guitar, that Tabs app, which I know you have as well.
Oh, heck yeah.
So
Heck yeah.
honorable mention for that one. And then I think I use Reddit a lot for my recipes. So I have a
Ooh,
lot of different subreddits that I get into for low carb keto recipes, when I'm
yeah.
smoking stuff on the barbecue, when I'm grilling on my big green egg, and then I have um, just like really good looking, obnoxiously good looking food, like a food porn subreddit that's just like really, really good looking dishes. And you're like, all right, how can I try and make this at home tonight?
Hell yeah. That's awesome, man. Love it.
Yeah.
What's one book you're reading now or that you've read in the recent past that you want to share with folks that you love?
Uh, I'm reading right now. It's called Essentialism. And
Hmm.
so it's a book on the tenacious pursuit of less.
Ah, okay.
So you want to only focus on what is essential, and it's about kind of getting rid of the things in your life that are not essential and learning to focus on what is truly essential in the moment right then and there. And then the other one that I think everybody should just read is a book called Atlas Shrugged.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
Ayn Rand. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one. I think my dad wanted me to read that one growing up because it's about just kind of doing things for yourself and making your own, not trying to like take handouts or take anything for free from anybody. You want to go build your own thing out there. So I think that's why he wanted me to read it growing up. But I really just like the book from, I really like the characters and the story, and it's something that aligned with me.
It's a daunting one. It's huge. I'll be
It's the
candid.
biggest book I've ever read. Yeah.
Yeah, I started it when I was in high school, and I think I got 50 pages in, and I was like, I think I'll wait. And I need to
Yeah.
pick it back up, though. Yeah.
It is 1,268 pages, I believe.
Whoa. I just read a book
Yeah.
called What Would the
It's like that
Rockefeller...
thick.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. I just read a book called What Would the Rockefellers Do? And the author talks about how he wanted to incent his children to become, financially stronger and more independent and things like that. So he actually put dollar values on books. So he said,
Yeah.
I will give each of my children $1,000 if they read Atlas Shrugged, and
That's
write
good.
a book report on it.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Like, what
and
did
there's
you learn?
no
Yeah.
spark notes, none of that. We
Yeah.
want the
Yeah.
original
So,
stuff.
no, that's awesome. And essentialism sounds just like our friend Billy Wagner, like simplifying your life.
Yep. And that was a recommendation from Brad too. I remember
Nice.
when he started ePay, I asked him, I was like, what would I need to read? And he
Yeah.
said essential. I'm taking me way too long to get into it, but
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
it's a good one.
What's one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
Probably just get involved with everything that you can. I think, and that's for like, I'm thinking specifically of myself in like middle school, high school, and in college. Probably just getting involved with as many things as you can, try as many new experiences as you can, because there's just so much learning and development that happens at that stage, and you want to meet as many people as you can. And I just wish that I had been more involved going back. It's probably the only thing. I
Yeah.
got involved with some stuff, but it was like one thing. It was basketball or golf. I was riding BMX and skateboarding for a while, and it was just one thing at a time. But there's no reason that says you can't be in 3 or 4 different clubs after school and have something to do like every day of the week.
Yeah.
And I think the college side of it too is like when you're in college, everything is geared specifically like to you. When you go
Sure.
out into the real world, it's like, no, there's a million people out here. That's nothing. Nobody cares about you like that. But everything
Yeah.
is geared to you at that moment. So I think you really got to take full advantage of it.
Yeah. No doubt. I love it, man. Good advice. Um, so I normally would give my guests the option, and you're welcome to take it. You are welcome to take it between choosing from a hot bowl of soup, which would actually it would feed several people, or gourmet marshmallows and hot chocolate. But you live in Austin, and it's not cold.
Yeah.
And
Oh, this is an easy choice though already.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I do
tell me.
the hot bowl of soup.
Hot
I
bowls?
like
What
I
kind
would
of soup?
I would I'd crush a bowl of gumbo right now.
Gumbo. Okay,
I
I'm
actually
not sure if they
I
have
had tortilla
gumbo.
soup. I had
Tor-
tortilla soup for lunch.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot you an email and we'll nail down some soups. I got to figure out which ones. So we send our guests most often a hot bowl of soup from Spoonful of Comfort, which is a company that we've
Nice.
used with our agency before, and our folks loved it. And there's some good
Yeah.
surprises, some goodies in there that you'll love too. But I want
Oh,
to
no
send that
way.
to
That's
you.
really
So
cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
thank
man.
you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll get
Does
your
anybody ever go for gourmet marshmallows?
They do. Yeah, not as
Okay.
many. Not as many. But yeah, we'll send that out to you. I'll get your address off air. But Well, one final piece of advice or actionable step that you have for our audience today.
Besides going and checking out ePayPolicy and embarking on that digital payments journey, I would say just it's kind of similar. Like just get involved, go out and try things. I think the most valuable resource that we have is time. It's finite. The only thing in the world that you have to do is die. So most of us get about 90 years to go make the most of it. Um, I would just encourage everybody to just go do what they want every day. Don't do something that doesn't make you happy, and
I
try and
love it.
learn every day. I like to identify what I've learned every day. So I think you put it out, saying like,
Yeah.
okay, that's what I learned today.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Absolutely. You are a Renaissance man. I love it.
I'm an old soul, that's for sure.
But a good
26,
soul.
26. But if you talk to me on the phone or someone on the street, you think I'm 35, 40. But
Hey, I would have thought that too. Yeah. I love
I'll
it.
take it.
Good
The high
soul, man.
school me was definitely taking that and running with
Yeah.
it.
I love it, man. Zac, brother, where can people connect with you, find you if they want to learn more about you or ePayPolicy?
I'm on LinkedIn, just Zac Franz. Uh, I'm also connected with ePay on LinkedIn, so you can click on us that way, or you can just go to epaypolicy.com, epay3.com. Go check out the new logo
Yes.
on ePayPolicy, and then yeah, there's some green buttons on there you can click to get some more info. We'll have somebody from my team reach out to you and see what your situation is and if we can help you.
These guys also have a stockpile of wicked awesome socks that they might have extras for you too.
We do have sweet. I got new logo means new sock
Oh, you got to
designs
get
too.
rid of the old
So
ones, man. Yeah,
yeah, I'll
that's
make
why
sure
you're
I got
getting
a
into
pair with
it.
your name on it, Jim.
I love it, brother. Stick with me for 2 seconds. But for everybody else, Zac, it's been a pleasure having you on today. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Jim. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. And everybody grow big or go home.